Keeping them honest tonight, Rick Perry's political and cash connections. We're digging into the GOP presidential hopeful's ties to pharmaceutical giant Merck and his former chief of staff, who was a lobbyist for the drug company. Some are calling him Perry's money man. The topic came up Monday night here on CNN during the Tea Party Republican debate. Fellow presidential hopeful Michelle Bachmann attacked Perry, claiming campaign donations he got from Merck played a role in Perry's 2007 executive order that mandated young girls get the HPV vaccine. Watch.
Governor Perry, as you well know, you signed an executive order requiring little girls, 11 and 12-year-old girls, to get a vaccine to deal with a sexually transmitted disease that could lead to cervical cancer. Was that a mistake?
It was, indeed. If I had it to do over again, I would have done it differently. I would have gone to the legislature, worked with them. But what was driving me was obviously making a difference about young people's lives. Cervical cancer is a horrible way to die.
I just wanted to add that we cannot forget that in the midst of this executive order, there was a big drug company that made millions of dollars because of this mandate. We can't deny that.
What are you suggesting?
What I'm saying is that it's wrong for a drug company because the governor's former chief of staff was the chief lobbyist for this drug company. The drug company gave thousands of dollars in political donations to the governor, and this is just flat out wrong. Right. The question is it about life or was it about millions of dollars and potentially billions for a drug company?
All right, I'll let Senator Santorum hold off for a second. You got to respond to that.
Yes, sir. The company was Merck, and it was a $5,000 contribution that I had received from them. I raised about $30 million. And if you're saying that I can be bought for $5,000,
much more to buy.
I'm offended.
Mr. Perry says he cannot be bought, but keeping him honest, he doesn't answer whether he can be influenced by this man, Mike Toomey. He served as Perry's chief of staff from 2002 to 2004. He's now an Austin lobbyist who did work for Merck for years. State lobbying records show that Merck paid him between $260,000 and $535,000 in lobbying fees between 2005 and 2010. Now, he's something of a man of mystery. A 360 producer tried to track him down, get him to answer questions about his ties to Merck and Perry.
Good afternoon, Taylor Dunham.
Hello, is Mike Toomey there, please?
Who?
Mike Toomey?
No.
Is he in the office today?
No. Sorry.
Okay, could you tell me where he is or how I could reach him?
I can't, but I can leave a message.
Well, we had no luck finding Toomey. Our producer got no return calls after leaving messages at his Austin office or the super PAC he co-founded, known as Make Us Great Again, to help fund Perry's presidential run, or from the offices located on the private island he co-owns on a lake in New Hampshire, where he has a home and rents out several others. As for the amount of money that Merck gave Perry's campaign for governor, Perry says it was $5,000. But according to Texas campaign finance documents, Perry has pocketed about $30,000 from Merck since 2000. And since 2006, the Washington Post reports Merck has also donated more than $380,000 to the Republican Governors Association. Perry was chairman of that association in 2008 and again in 2011 until just last month. As for Merck's take on all of this, no response from them either. Joining me now is Andrew Wheat, research director for Texans for Public Justice, and political analyst Roland Martin, a Texas native. So, Andrew, you've been covering Governor Perry for many years in Texas. Just how close are Rick Perry and Mike Toomey?
Well, I think they're, for all practical purposes, Mike Toomey and Governor Perry are attached at the hip. They have worked together for 25 years. They were roommates when they both served in the Texas House together. When Mr. Toomey worked as chief of staff for the governor, he had a nickname, and that nickname was Governor Toomey. There's a sense here in Austin that Mr. Toomey, who's very bright, very hardworking, is the power behind the throne of Governor Perry.
Roland, you're saying this is we're seeing some of the underbelly of politics playing out here.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I hate to suggest that this is what we are used to, but that's a fact. And I think the voters are sitting there saying, my goodness, we're used to this revolving door, whether it's in Texas, whether it's in Illinois, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where people work for politicians, go into corporate America, come back into politics, go back. I remember when President George W. Bush was there in the Department of the Treasury, people say, wait a minute, you've got Goldman Sachs and Bank of America and J.P. Morgan Chase executives now working for the government and going back. The problem for Perry, though, is that he is building his campaign on this whole notion of integrity, of character, evangelical voice. And if he's able to be undercut by saying what is the level of influence in terms of former staffers who are getting now dollars from the state, that's going to be a problem in this GOP primary.